Hello, welcome back to Orsi. You are ready to watch Spain take on the Czech Republic, the second quarterfinal of the day. And to be quite honest, I haven't digested the first quarterfinal between Serbia and Italy, a remarkable game that was won by Serbia. They trailed by as many as 8 points, and they really dug deep to play defense and came back and beat a great Italian team. We're going to be seeing these two teams a lot in the future, I'm sure, but Spain will now take on the Czech Republic and hope to follow Serbia's lead into the FIBA World Championship for women. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mark Clark, and you've been able to see Serbia play in the early stages of this competition, as well as the Czech Republic, and you also watched Spain play the other night. What do the Czechs have to do to kind of give themselves a chance to beat the Spanish team?
Well, firstly, the inside strength that the Czechs have with Kuliachova and Brugova. They have to take care and hold the middle. If they can force that and then not give Sancho Little too much space to play, the Czechs themselves have a roster that can run. This roster against Croatia showed that in controlling the glass, they can get Kristova and Hindrakova out on the break. If they can get some easy looks, but then get into some ball control, they have a chance. If they run up and down with Spain, I think this roster is now, with the absence of Vesela, has an issue if they get into a running game. They don't have the depth to deal with the talent that Spain has.
Now, you told me that El Hotova has struggled at this Eurobasket women. Do you see any chance for her getting on track?
Well, if she can get where she was 2 years ago, where she was averaging, 18 points a game, this team would have a chance, because then the Spanish would have to stretch their defense. And there's been flashes, and for Lubov Blazek, who's coached her at club and coached her national team, he must be so frustrated sitting there knowing that she can give this team so much points production and stretch the floor against the other team. If she can get into double figures, she has a chance, but she's going to almost remember what it was like to catch and shoot the ball. She's improved all sorts of aspects of the game. If she doesn't catch and shoot, I think there's too much pace in this lineup that you've seen playing for the whole of this tournament.
Well, I mean, you can talk about any number of these players. You mentioned Sancho Little, Albator, and Sylvia Dominguez, terrific, really top to bottom. There are no weaknesses, and it's interesting that Lucas Mondello has gotten everybody involved, kept them involved. Really, there's really the standout player for me for Spain so far, though, has been Sancho Little. I think she's got tougher battles coming up as Spain try to get to that medal. They missed the quarterfinals in 2011. Is this a team that can finally go win the gold medal? Russia, for so many years, have stood in their way. Now that Russia are out of the competition, will France prove a hurdle? Will they slip up against the Czech Republic? Amaya Valdemaro there, their legendary player, playing in her last Eurobasket along with Elisa Aguilar. Spain wants to send those two veterans out as winners. And so far, so good for Lucas Mondello. His team is unbeaten at this Eurobasket Women. We're now going to hear the national anthems for both teams. We're going to start with the Czech Republic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Czech Republic.
Now the national anthem of Spain.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Spain.
Okay, we're almost ready for the action here, just 3.5 minutes away. As the players exchange pleasantries here at midcourt. It's always nicey nice beforehand, but now it's they're going to trade blows. The referees from Wales, France, and Germany.
Jeff, one of the things you mentioned before the national anthems about the balance in this group when you've got Badamora, Gill, and Padal, 3 veterans that have been here for a number of times. They've been added to on the Spanish side by Sancho Little, who's done a marvelous job. And the 8 categories that you talked about, that she leads the tournament. I've got to say about Kuliachova, this is the most active I've seen her. She's seen the situation with Vesela stepping out, and she has tried to lift this team. Block shots, she's taking early shots. We all know that she's not the most physically strongest player here, but she's long and she really has put in a shift every single game. With that starting lineup, my concern with this team is Kuliachova and Little's going to be a tough matchup. And Yusova then's going to pick up whoever else starts. We'll get to see that in a minute. Who's going to guard Torrens on the perimeter? Who's going to enable this team to control the tempo? Blazek may go to the zone. They were very good in the matchup zone in the early stages of the group. And the last thing about Blazek is what he hasn't seen, you don't need to know, because he's taken a team at home to a silver medal in the Worlds. Pressure's enormous. Now he's trying to deal with an injured star, and he's had to deal with a number of players not being here through injury.
Well, Little for Spain's been terrific, as have all these players, really. Cindy Lima, one of the hardest working players in this team since the Eurobasket women in 2007. Torrens has battled back from the knee injury. Laia Palau, the veteran guard, the great defender, and Marta Jargai, who just has elevated her game substantially in the last 2 years. Lucas Mondello, I like what he's done, but he admitted after the last game they haven't won anything. And this is when it gets really interesting. When you get to that knockout phase, you have to expect you're going to take the best punch of the Czech Republic.
But that point we were getting into, he's done a marvelous job managing, let alone coaching, the blend of the veterans who've always been major players. Now he's almost asking them to add support, be the veteran experience, and almost pass the baton on for the Spanish team. That's a tough ask, but the one thing that's driving them, as you said, they missed the quarterfinals last time. They've been in finals. This could be their chance to get a gold medal for those players, and that would be a real passing on of the baton.
I think people forget how good this Czech Republic team has been in the past decade. They've won this title in 2005. They were runners-up 2 years before that. They played at the last 3 Olympic Games. They're, I think, 4th in the FIBA ranking women right now. And Spain, obviously, they dropped just a little bit because they didn't qualify for the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament at that last Eurobasket women. But as Sancho Little was telling us, you know, we were bringing in young players. We had some injuries. It was a period of transition. I think it was just the fact that one of the giants fell, as we saw this year with Russia. When one of those perennial teams gets knocked out early, it really makes headlines. I think it certainly has sharpened the focus of Spain. Now the Czechs probably facing their toughest test at this Eurobasket other than France.
But the great thing for them, they're not necessarily young players, but they haven't had to take the lead responsibility. And Gristova leads the team in points. She's had to do that because Vesela went down. There's a chance here that's for the Czechs. They've been here, done it, seen it, and if Helatova gets going, they really can challenge anyone.
Sancho Little jumps, and Kuliachova wins that opening tip. And Hanasova hands it off to Gristova.
And Yusova's got to shoot this. She's got to shoot the ball like she just did with Cindy Lima. If she can draw her, if they are good shooters, that's exactly what Yusova's got to do here. Take some responsibility, really be the aggressive player.
And this is what has to happen for these young players. They have to know it's their time to step forward. And Sancho Little takes that early shot for Spain. It misses, but they get the rebound. So interesting seeing Hanasova play because, you know, 2 years ago she was coming off the bench in garbage time. Nice pass inside to Cindy Lehman. She missed the layup. So early chance here for the Czech Republic.
Good thing for him, Jeff. Botilova's has really played her age, you know, played experience and given him a good amount of leadership at the point. But Heletova putting it on the floor is not the answer for them. She's actually got better at that over the last couple of years, but that's not going to make her a game winner, a game changer here. She's got to catch it and shoot it.
Well, this player right here, Laia Palau, will be playing at Prague next year. She'd like to show up as a European champion, but so far it's the Czechs who are having their way. Nice pass to Kulichova.
And I've got to tell you exactly what I said before the game. She's run the floor harder than I've ever seen her run the floor. She's been much more assertive. And she's still only, what, 28 years old. She's been around for a long, long time. And she's still got some young legs there and playing great.
Oh, Jargai spins on the baseline. And finally gets Spain on the board. Inbounds at Hanasova. He's got a nice body, Hanasova, and a nice backdoor cut for Elhatova, but Spain get back and cover on defense with 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Palau guarding Bortolova. Kulichova, she may have to put one up, and a little bit too high off the backboard. Jargai now in the open floor, pulls it out on the right wing. Passes back to Sancho Little for the open jumper, and the ball goes down. What does that tell you when you see a shot like that bounce around the rim and go in?
Well, I think everything it tells you about Sancho Little, the way he plays. She's really in love with her shot at the moment. She's got great touch, and it was a soft finish.
Drostova goes right down the lane and missed the layup.
Good sign, though.
Yeah, great sign for them. Not good for Spain to give away so many open looks in the lane. Sancho Little chases down the ball.
Hanyasova's got to waste herself a bit. She's just got to work so hard if she's guarding Little.
Laia Palau works her way in the lane, gets the rebound, back out, 4 on the shot clock, 3. Torrens! Alba Torrens strikes. And Spain have taken the lead. Now Torrens up ahead. She's going to drive in and score the easy bucket. Just like that, Spain have taken a 9-4 lead, and Lucas Mondello wanted contact. But I think it was a good no call. Hanasova, ball rims out, but she's got a good-looking stroke on her, doesn't she?
She's just got to be assertive and confident, and great hands by Kulichova running back. Hanasova and Kristova, they've got to be active now and try and actually make the Spanish defense guard them. They can't just get into, sometimes the Czechs this tournament have got a little bit into just controlling the ball without being assertive. But they've got to keep the Spanish outside the three-point line. Got to keep them in front of them.
Walter Jargai thought about splitting the defense. He hands it over to Torrens, and Torrens has just got this ability just to conjure up magic every trip down, and the pressure, as you look at the replay, and the bench celebrating. And in the meantime, the Czechs have turned the ball over. So Spain on top 11-4, a little bit shaky at the beginning, but now they look like they've got the wind in their sails. They pass it inside to Little.
Yeah, we talked about Hanasova having to give her body up a little bit. Never really put any contact on her. Really did get taken easily to the basket. Blazek needs the timeout.
I don't know what you can say. I mean, it looked like a positive start for the Czech Republic.
But the game's been a little bit up and down. and he's never got into the half court. He got the early look from Hanyusova, but he can't let the game have a flow. He's got to, I'd be amazed if he has aspirations to really go after this game. He's going to have to throw the zone in just to see if he can slow it down some. And if they got lots of points off the front of the zone against Croatia. Spain are obviously not Croatia, far better, but Kristova got away off the break out of the zone. I've got to see him try and slow this down. Brugova's in the game for him as well.
Well, Brugova brings some size and some toughness. He's come in for, well, they've got the Twin Towers.
Yeah, Hanyusova's sat down.
So Hanyusova's out. Kristova over to Kulichova, and Sancho Little gambled a little bit, and Kulichova was able to get in there and bank it in. How good are Spain that they can kind of overcome those early wobbles and take such a big lead so far? Nice pass inside to Sancho Little.
But she's going to do that if you have no ball pressure. Because they just look to Zage with her hands down, and Little's just so athletic for Kulichova. If she doesn't put a body on it, then she's going to make that type of cut.
Elhotova. Kristova into the lane and loses control. So the ball goes back over to Spain. They lead it 15-6. Another look.
Out of shot while they were showing the replay there. Montelo's at all Albertoran's about you can't get beat on the dribble. You've got to play harder. Don't be cheap. He's not going to let it up. He's got such depth. He can be like that with his team. They know they've got to work hard every minute they're out there.
Albertoran sets for the three. Good! Wow, you're really looking at when she is on. There is no player like her in women's basketball. Let's be quite honest. Yeah. Albertoran can do so many things, especially offensively. Nice pass. But then again, it's an open jump shot. Kulichova's sticking with it. She's keeping him in the game.
And this is what we were saying before. She's really trying to carry this team. You know, they're gonna show the zone and try and like clog it, try and force the perimeter shot. As long as they show some pressure, they'll be fine.
Brugova comes out on top of Little. Now Laya Palau penetrates. Foul on the Czechs. We're down 10.
There are times you just have to pick your poison. They can't go up and down, so they have to zone it. If Torrens or whoever else starts knocking down threes, then fine. Maybe you have to go to something else, but pick your poison. Don't try and just play it. If you get beat, not trying to make a decision about how you're going to get beat, then fine. You can't really do anything else. Hindrikova coming into the game has found some incredible shooting statistics in the middle stage of the second round. Just couldn't miss in games, and they need someone to start hitting now.
Hindrikova, I think, was one of the last people to make the team. And it's really interesting to see how a team reacts when they lose such a great player like Vesela, who's been a member of so many of their teams. I mean, people have to step up. And I'm sure her stock has gone up in this tournament.
Yep.
Laya Palau out, and Silvia Dominguez comes in for Spain.
What does that tell you about the depth of his team? They bring in a player who's won the EuroLeague Women's Championship for a club
3 times the last 3 years.
Yep.
For different clubs.
And she comes off the bench.
Yep, they can replace like for like. And the Czechs having to work extremely hard now offensively. Kulichova pulls up. Well, got to tip your hat to her. But it's only one shot and out. Brugova was a very important part of that team that got the silver medal at the FIBA World Championship for women back in 2010. Dominguez into the corner to Torrens. She's hit it from that other side and now this side. And she gets a low 5 from Laya Palau. She runs down the bench, and we've still got 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and Torrens has 13 points. Brugova. Kulichova with the rebound. Bartonova, who's come in, takes the 3, no good, and now Marta Žargaj. Jargai goes all the way and misses. Cindy Lima, though, keeps it alive, ends up in the hands of Partanova.
Just need to spend time with it now. Take some time and some pace out of the game. See if they can run some post-up stuff with Brugova. See if they can get something as opposed to literally playing the whole thing in front of the Spanish defense. They didn't turn the defense once in that whole series. Hey, it's hard, though. You are literally playing against one of the most athletic defensive teams in this tournament, who also are really motivated and very deep, so they can play as hard as anybody.
Well, Torrance comes out, 13 points, replaced by the legendary Maya Valdemoro in her last Eurobasket Women. Oh, how she'd like to go out as a winner. She was the MVP of the Eurobasket Women in 2007 when Russia edged Spain in that thrilling gold medal game. Dominguez hands it back off to Sancho Little, always making the look to pass. Sylvia Dominguez, but she can hit the short jump with a 17-point lead. What is the message that Spain are sending out to all these teams here, including the tournament host France? Bergrova at the line. That's better. The veteran center.
That's a beautiful little move for her off the dribble. But again, she's had to make the move off the dribble. And Spain force you to put it down all the time.
Sancho Little, baseline. Kulichova with the rebound. Over to Partanova. Picks up her dribble. She doesn't want to do that. And Baltimore almost takes the ball away from Bergova. 8 seconds on the shot clock. So the Czechs fighting just to get something going at all. Elhotova.
Well, welcome back, I think is the phrase. You know, in her case now, in this game, they're already 12 down. What has she got to lose? Get out there and try and get some rhythm back. There's two agendas here. One, they want to win this game, but they also want to get to the World Championships. They have to do that through classification. She's going to be vital.
Well, good defense from Partanova at the beginning. I'm not sure if she reached and ended up getting the foul. I think she did. Yep, she bumped Sylvie Dominguez. Jargai out. Torrance back in. Valdemoro. Lauren Nichols in, sets the pick. Valdemoro tries to give it back to Nichols, but throws it to Kulichova, who anticipated well. And the Czechs now trailing by 12.
Can't panic. It's a long way back already. They can't do that at all. And again, Partanova has been very interesting. Yet, like, they've given her the ball back because there was a deflection, but she's been vital in the way that she gives quality minutes to spell Bortolova at the point. And when she's done that, the Czechs have looked good. If she starts to get into turnovers, they have to bring Bortolova back far too quickly.
Kulichova feeds Bergova with 4 seconds now on the shot clock, so everything's difficult. Kulichova gets it, nice touch, but not quite enough. Now Torrance in the open floor. Little runner from Alba Torrance.
The Czechs don't need to run. They're just got to work their way back in. They don't want to go early. Just get it under 10 and try and find a higher percentage shot.
Bergova. And Laura Nichols blocks the ball, and that's what Bergova's asking. How could the ball be blocked? Watch. Well, maybe she didn't block it. Maybe Bergova just threw it off the backboard.
Poor shot really, because Bergova, with her experience, should get Laura Nichols down low and get a higher, get a better balanced shot.
Good deny defense from Hendrikova. Up ahead to Partanova. And she drives in. So now a 10-point game here at the end of the first quarter. Not how they draw it up in the Spanish huddle. So full marks to Hendrikova.
All right, and Hindrakova found a way to help. She got the ball over. Dominguez gambled, as you have to in that situation. There's no way she could get back safe. And they've stopped the bleeding. You know, they've got themselves in a little bit of better rhythm, and they've cut the turnovers out. They're back to 10. And they just have to, as I say, spend more time with the ball. They need to spend more time with the ball than the than the Spanish do. And Spain again, are they going to go 100% from the three-point line? I can't see them going like that for the whole game. So it's not one of those scenarios that the Czech Republic should be passive about. Pick the way you're going to play. If the zone's the way you have to do it that way, then spend time with the ball.
Well, I think the promise is there for the Czech Republic, having seen the Drostova and Hindrakova. They've got a lot of players. I think the other players that they've had for so long have just been such giants in the game in the Czech Republic and really big names in Europe that some of these other players had to wonder if they were ever going to get their chance. But Hindrakova looks like she's a keeper, and it's going to be exciting to watch her play along with Drostova and Hanasova in the coming years.
Well, those guys can be around for the next 2-3 Eurobaskets. So, the injury to Vasilev's forced it upon him maybe a year early or whatever, but you've got to think that the future of Czech Republic basketball is not going to just go away on the back of Vichkova's stopping to play and Hendrik, all those people that gave him a silver medal. And what they have that not many other countries has is an expectation and an attitude about winning. So I don't think they're going to lie down in this one. They're going to find a way to make this interesting. They're so well coached, there's going to be some questions asked to this Spanish team.
Nice hands from Bartonova. Picks Laya Palau. Laya Palau won't like that. And Elhotova is open. He shouts in frustration after the miss.
That sums the tournament up, really. Made a much tougher shot. They're the shots she just made for fun 2 years ago.
Sancho Little floats in. No, Kulikova with the rebound. And Sancho Little hustles back as the Czechs try to get that fast break. Maybe a little bit of a mismatch here with Torrens started by Elhotova. Torrens passes Lima outside to Sancho Little, and Sancho Little travels.
With this much depth, you get the feeling that the Spanish could run and get Torrens in the open floor a lot. And Mondela couldn't work out why Palau pulled it out on that one. There was so much talent going through.
The sheer athleticism of Sancho Little makes up for a lot of mistakes in that Spanish defense, doesn't it?
Oh, it's got broken down on the perimeter. They were never going to get the shot away. It's coming across. The rotation's good, so they help her.
Bartonova's shot, I think, was tapped by Laya Palau. Baldomoro out behind the arc. No, went in and out. She looks at it again. Torrens left open for three. Go! 16 points. Alba Torrens has won these games. I mean, do you think I'm like overstating the fact that she's special, or is she kind of freakish?
Absolutely special, and she's at both ends now, active and everything.
Well, she gets it, takes it all the way, and Alba Torrens, 18 points. The lead back to 15. And it's like flipping a switch sometimes with Spain. I mean, they can just score so quickly. Hindrakova. Nice drive from Hindrakova. Boy, she has really got a game, doesn't she?
No, she has. She's got a great first step. And if you're going against someone like Torrens, you need one. And she manufactured a finish there over some big help. They have talent. The 2 and the 3 spot, they have points and they have talent.
Torrens again, short on that one.
Okay, she's human.
Yes.
Okay, she's very, very good and she's exceptional, but she's still human.
She is not a Terminator.
And you know, the great thing for me is that she looks like she's loving every minute of being out there. She plays with a passion and a feel that you'd just love to see.
So Pekova into the game.
Jeff, she's someone else who's got real talent from the perimeter. She can stroke it.
Yeah. She was in, I think she was in the 2010 team as well. Elhotova stays out. They kept it alive. And the Czechs get it back. Bortolova bumped by Laia Palau. And Hendrikova had asked to come out before, and they didn't bring her out, so she must have been thinking, oh dear.
I'll stop keeping it alive. I'm going to stop playing hard. I've got to come out.
She's playing so well, it's not to get her back out there quickly.
Well, there's enough time for her to get a minute or so on the bench and get straight back out.
Rostova out to Pekova.
There you go. She can beat set. She was the major reason that in the Group F that her and Kristova just lit it up from the perimeter to actually the game that really cost Great Britain their chance to go through and got the momentum for the Czech Republic to make sure they got here too.
Back to Sancho Little in the lane, and just a nice little floater. Looking at the nut. It's pretty impressive stuff how quickly Spain, and that's going to infuriate Vlasic watching those turnovers.
Well, it's one of those games you can't give easy buckets away. You've got to have your perfect day game, and they've just turned it over back to back.
Sancho Little right into her hands. That's the easiest steal she'll ever have. Now Jargai back to Sancho, or excuse me, Cindy Lima, and Cindy Lima. More substitutions. Laura Gill into the game, as well as Quirov Casas, number 15. And Jargai pressuring Trostova. Close. Pekova for 3. Good! They desperately need her shooting.
Yeah, they've got to make her put it on the floor. And that's exactly the Spanish coaching staff they have right in front of us.
Sancho Little from 8 feet. Tougher shot. Now Pekova looking like an X-factor right now. Bortolova, and that gets it back to a 9-point game. Nice shot there. The pull-up jumper from Bortolova. Out of Gill, and had nowhere to go. And Spain turned it over, and Lucas Mondello is going to try to stem the flow here. Good hands from Elhotova. Well, she might not be clicking offensively, but if she can help out in other ways, she'll earn those minutes.
I think that she's got so much better than criticism of 2 years ago. Oh, all she does is shoot. She's improved defensively. She handles the ball better, but she's forgotten what made her special. Or she's just out of rhythm. I'm sure that's going to come back. You know, she's going to find ways to get shots. But the moment earlier in the tournament, she started to doubt herself. And that shooter can't doubt themselves. She's got to catch it and shoot it. But the other thing, Kuliachova in 3 stats across to that, her and Bragova, they're obviously a key part of the team, but now they're really starting to show some leadership where that always used to come from a Vitskova or a Vasela. They've really stepped up, and that's got to be good because they're both young enough to be here in 2 years' time. Picking out one of the players that you mentioned to me when I watched the game against Turkey, Laura Gill, great combination with her and Little on the inside. She's very quick, a little bit unorthodox in lots of ways, but things happen whenever she's on the floor.
Well, you can see the numbers from Sancho Little, and really the one number that really jumps off the stat sheet at you right now, the 20 points here scored by Alba Torrens. Now the steal by Marta Jargai drives all the way in. The follow, no good. And Lucas Mondello was appealing for an unsportsmanlike foul, but nothing was called right after the steal.
He was right, too.
Portalova over to Bergrova, and the Czechs kind of recover, and they get back to within 7 points. And again, Pekova is doing a heck of a job. She's doing a peck of a job. Sancho Little, oh, she can't be stopped right there.
If you go over the top like Bergrova did and don't get it, it's good night. She's gone. And she just, I love the way she's so active, Jeff. She's like such a motivated individual, both ends of the floor. She's on the balls of her feet, wanting to make a contribution. She should just get out of Bergova's way. She's got Dominguez Gardner.
Well, Bortalova hands it off to Pekova, and foul called on Casas, former MVP for Spain at youth level, and those European Youth Championships that they have. But Pekova has really sparked this team, this Czech team, and now she's at the line. And how often do you see great shooters from long range struggle at the free throw line?
Pekova's not perfect from the line. I mean, she looks quick and she looks smooth. But on the tournament at the moment, she's way down there. She's like at 30% or so on the tournament. She just had a nightmare in one game. And that's all it takes in these tournaments. For your free throw stats. You don't get there that often.
She doesn't want to be reminded of that.
No, no.
Torrens, well, back to a 7-point game, and really the Czechs hanging around incredibly. Just because Spain looked like they're going to blow the doors wide open. Torrens in the lane, good, 22 points. I wonder what the record is in the first half for points.
Well, remarkably, however good Spain are playing, only 4 people have troubled the scorer, of which Little has 12 and Torrens has 22.
I mean, they're not coming out of the flow either. It's Martinova at the line, and Laura Gill with the rebound. Laura Gill sets the screen, then rolls. Torrens thought about it. Now Jargai, 8 on the shot clock. He gets the pick and double over to Sancho Little, 2 on the shot clock, and gets it off in time. So Spain rewarded for their patience. Jargai bumps El Hotova.
ce qui va nous permettre de retrouver la squad pour une nouvelle distribution de cadeaux au public.
Time out on the floor. The Czechs doing a good job of hanging in there. Very talented Spanish team has put 40 points on them, but the Czechs down by 11.
Be interested to see what Blazek does coming out this timeout, because he had a quick look at the zone, then he came away from it. It'll be interesting to see if he can try and keep it in single figures going into the half. He'll get something out of bounds here. He'll get a good shot. He might even have a look at going up the floor and then coming back to the zone. He's looked at some traps earlier in the tournament just to mix it up. He's got to find a way to change the flow, especially with Torrens scoring 22. So 36 out of 40 from the 2. Just pack a zone and match up on those 2 and see what you get. Just have a look. Blazek's got a lot of things in his locker he can go to. And you know he's not going to just like play this game out. He's going to try and find a way to get himself in with a chance of coming up with a win. And all he has to do is make the Spanish team think a little more. And who knows what might happen here.
Well, right now, Torrens is 9 of 12 from the floor, including 4 of 5 from three-point range. And Sancho Little, 7 of 11 from the floor. She's got 14 points. She's also Well, she's only got 3 rebounds, but I'm sure that'll be in double digits by the end of the game. Pekova. Mitrikova has come back in here for the remainder of the half. Nice little pass. And Elhotova showed us a little bit here in the first half. Maybe she's shaking off those Eurobasket women's struggles here tonight.
That was a great read because they tried to play out and stop her going off the screen, so she just reversed. Nice pass too. So
Dominguez passes to Sancho Little. And no shot. That was Bartonova who got the assist, by the way, on that pass to Elhotova. Sancho Little steps out. Oh, she doesn't hesitate. And Jargai tries to chase the ball down and doesn't get there in time, so it turns over to the Czechs. You know, the Czechs, it was such a tough loss, losing Jana Vesela right at the beginning of their first game, and they lost heavily to Belarus. But it was so impressive coming back, and it was just kind of hard to get a read on how good they were, though, because they lost so badly to Serbia. But having seen Serbia play tonight, you can understand how that would have happened. Now, Marta Jargai in the open floor. Over to Silvia Dominguez, drives in, and good D from the Czechs. Bartonova bounce pass. Elhotova gives it back to Bartonova, and Silvia Dominguez with the foul.
taking that point, the question you asked of how good they are, I think the issue now is because they've lost that consistency, they're going to be a little bit up and down. They've had great games, they've had some bad periods in games like the first half against Serbia. They're capable. I just don't think without that experience and leadership that Vesela gave them, they can do it in the same way for every part of the possession. What they're capable of is doing it for long periods. Where they can do it for long enough now, keep it in single digits, they have a chance here, a real chance. Got some quality minutes out of Bartonova the second time in, and as I said before, that really makes Slubor Blazek's job a lot easier if you can just spell the two of them and use them as a pair, you know, one in, one out.
Well, the dump from Marta Jargai and fouled. The whistle was a little slow, and the Spain players reacted. Mandela trying to make a point that they're not calling some fouls.
I think he felt that the official under the basket should have called it. The official at the top called it, and it was a foul. It was, you know, from where we're sitting, it was a foul. Zargai's had a great tournament, Jeff, hasn't he? Statistically, she's had a great tournament. I think she really adds, again, a little bit of size and quality at that two small forward spot.
She does. She's versatile. She can post up guards. She can play the two, really, if she wanted, or the three. Entry pass to Kulichova. Now the Czechs down by just 6 points. What a performance. Talk about grit. Digging in like the Czechs and not caving in. They caved in against Serbia, but they've really held together here against Spain when it would have been easy to go away. And now some of those shots by Spain aren't looking quite as polished. They're looking a little bit rushed.
Well, Kulichova, after scoring down one end, came across and helped, and she wasn't stupid enough to try and block it. She said, I'm long, you're going to go over me. Made the shot get changed. Can't say enough good things about Kulichova. She really has stepped up in leadership as well as playing. Excellent job.
Bortolova, 7 on the shot clock. Bortolova goes in, and Sancho Little was in position to rebound, but couldn't control it. So the Czechs will get the last shot. Can you imagine if they were to hit a 3 and go to halftime trailing by just 3 points? That would be incredible. Well, Bortolova puts it up off the front of the rim, and Cindy Lima didn't really rebound with authority. Spain have some work to do. They had a big lead, 15 points, I think it was, at one stretch. And the Czechs have hung around.
Well, they led 30-15 and have gone in at the half 41-35, so they've had a tremendous 20-point end to that quarter. But they've done it by like doing a little bit Czech. You know, they've slowed it a little. The scoring tempo's gone down, and they've got, and Kulyachova's got 8, Rogova's got what, I think 4 or 6, and it's been a tremendous performance, and they've slowed Spain down. Spain's still having great field goal percentages, but the Czechs are climbing up there. And have got 5 offensive rebounds, Sancho, Little, and all. They've done a great job on the glass. And they had, I think, 7, 8 turnovers at the end of the first quarter. Didn't turn it over often in the second quarter. It's a great comeback.
Well, Serbia won that first game. They're watching this one, and they have to be encouraged. They know they can beat the Czechs. They'll play the winner of this game in the semifinal. Torrens with those 22 points. And a really important burst of points from Pekova coming off the bench, I think really kind of shifted the momentum for the Czech Republic. Well, Spain lead it 41-35 over the Czech Republic in the second quarterfinal here at the Eurobasket Women in France. The first quarterfinal of the day, won by Serbia. Serbia beating Italy in a real thriller. A game that went right down to the very last minute, and the Serbians prevailing 85-79 to clinch their place in the FIBA World Championship. And now they're going to play for a medal, whether it's a gold medal or a bronze medal. So an incredible tournament for them. And what's incredible, and we saw this 2 years ago, is you can have a run of 6 consecutive wins like Montenegro did, and then get to the quarterfinal, and suddenly things don't work the same. And, you know, you and I think that probably Spain are good enough to hold on here, but they've been so good in this tournament. Yet, right now, they're facing their most awkward challenge against a Czech team that is shorn of so many famous names from past years, like, you know, Vitechkova, Horokova is gone, and Vesely getting injured. It's just a different time of the tournament, isn't it?
And it's not this similar to when the Czechs played the French in the group. French came out, looked so much better, had them down and had them dominated, but inspired really by Kulichova, inspired by the fact that they hung around and then Christopher got going a bit. They sort of came back into it, but it was too late. Whereas in this game, they've got right back into it at the half. Now maybe that game proved to them that they can play. So this could be really interesting unless Spain really assert themselves.
Well, it's interesting as well that Pekova has started here for the Czech Republic. She hit those big shots. She had 8 first-half points. I guess she would have to be the X factor that people didn't expect, well, maybe to come in and do what she did. I mean, she really shifted the momentum, and she's gotten the start.
Well, Blazek's gone with all the people who played well in the first half, because Helitova did better. Hindrakova was good.
Here's Hindrakova. She's a handful. I like her. Elhotova, 10 on the shot clock. And Pekova from the corner. She missed that one. And I think a certain Sancho Little was bearing down on her. Now Torrens with that remarkable 22 points. I think Spanish fans just couldn't quite celebrate the 22-point outburst from Torrens because they let the Czechs get back in the game.
Well, someone else you'd expect will have to step up because Torrens going for 22 that quick. Is she going to go for 40? If she doesn't, who's going to step up? They've got enough options, but the Czechs have got a foothold in the game. I just love the way Kuliacheva's just doing Kuliacheva. Whatever she can do, she's getting a little off the glass, and everybody's trying to compete.
And I like as well, you know, Cindy Lima isn't the most fluid player out there, but you know what you're going to get at her, and right there she gets an offensive rebound. Torrens over to Sancho Little, left wide open. Too hard, and Kulichova with the rebound. Bortolova up to Pekova, and now it's a 4-point lead.
Very similar to how they scored easy points against Croatia earlier in the tournament. Decent rebound and a quick release on the pass.
Right now, you have to wonder if Spain are second-guessing themselves just a little bit. Sancho Little gets in there. Now Hindrakova out on the fast break. And Marta Jargai reaches in, and nothing was called. There was definitely contact. But that was Pekov on the previous fast break. Right now, you can't help but say that Spain just are flirting with disaster.
Yep, they're out.
Hotova for 3, and Kulichova may have gotten away with a push-off there, and she takes advantage. 15 feet.
Double-digit points for Kuliachova. When has she been like a leader?
No, it wasn't that bad, actually.
No, I don't think so.
Alba Torrens gets into the lane, over to Sancho Little, and good defense from Czech Republic to slide in there, and they can tie the game right now. In very uncomfortable moments for that Spanish bench as the Czechs continue to have all the momentum. Hindrakova drives in. That was a good attempt.
Spain, a little bit one-dimensional. If it's not Little, it's going to be Torrens. That last possession, 3 people wide open outside. They forced one. The rest of this team can score.
Well, Torrens puts up a shot, no good. And you have to wonder, really, if Mondello is tempted to go with his veterans, Aguilar and Valdemaro, perhaps. Because they won't be shy about putting it up. Palau. Now Pekova for three. Boy, that would have brought the house down.
Other people have got to get involved offensively. They can one-dimensional.
Lima is not really the offensive-minded player. Well, Sancho Little floats in, and she just can't buy a basket right now. El Hotova. And good defense from Alba Torrens, and see if this sparks Spain. It's a 3-on-2 fast break. Torrens drives in and forces it. And the ball goes back over to the Czech Republic. So even on the fast break, Spain unable to get points. And I think Mondello's doing the right thing by calling a timeout. Spain have not scored 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the third quarter.
Well, this sums it up. 3-on-2 break, they end up with a full shot. The time before, missed an easy one. The time before, they were forcing it in the lane. The Czechs have got 5 red shirts in the keyway now. And that's what the Czechs like to do.
All right, let's listen to what he says.
Si se la hubieras doblado a Sancho, era canasta, ¿vale? Olvídate de la... Oye, olvidaros de los árbitros me encargo yo, dedicaros a jugar. Vamos a enganchar los bloqueos directos. Primero tintemos y luego ataquemos en directo. ¿De acuerdo? Y vamos a robar más la bola. Y high low. Sí, estamos completamente estáticos.
A musíme to dohrát ven a znova do hloubky. Při obraně jim vadí to vytažený, ztrácej tam vteřiny.
Look at the self-belief in the Czech team. You can hear Mondello talking about ball circulation, high-low. You know, don't forget that we've got to run our offense. It's just completely bogged down. They're just completely out of their rhythm. I think they got so many fast break opportunities in the first half, they didn't really have to run that much offense.
No, they had one pass, make a shot. One pass, make a shot, or attack the bucket. It's, as we said, they almost played too well or too easy. The Czechs maybe didn't believe. Now they definitely believe.
Cordalova and Cindy Lima in Spain, clearly the intent is to get this thing going with their defense. And again, Cindy Lima doing the little things. Alba Torrens penetrates, drives in, and Kulichova with a great block. And now El Hotova. And El Hotova is fouled, and the Czechs are going to get free throws, and Amaya Valdemaro is going to check into the game for Alba Torrens.
Well, on this shot, we're going to see the replay of. You're going to see that there's a challenge to the shot. All 5 Czech defenders are around the basket. There are people literally naked on the perimeter, licking their lips, ready to shoot it. And Alba Torrens decides to go 1-on-3, and just didn't happen. And this ties the game if Hotova makes it.
Boy, they're probably tuning in Brno and Prague, Ostrava, all over the Czech Republic. The Czechs really showing us something right now, and really Spain are looking fragile. Unlike any other time in this tournament, except maybe in the fourth quarter against Russia in their first win, when the Russians almost came back from 18 points to beat them. And Valdemaro kind of forces it, sensing she has to create something, and really the frustration showing from Mondello on the bench. And he feels this thing starting to get away from Spain. And Drakova has the shot blocked by Marta Zargai.
They've got to reward Zargai for the defense. They've got to move the ball, get some, like her and other people, some shots.
And Cindy Lima with the offensive rebound. The Czechs wanted to travel.
How important is that offensive rebound going to be?
Marta Zargai, good! Well, the second opportunity, and Cindy Lima, we've seen her get a couple of offensive boards, a steal, and somebody else shoots it other than Alba Torrens and Sancho Little.
And they ran a baseline screen to free her up. She gets an open look, and she's a decent player, and she's going to make the defense play honest.
El Hotov at the line, no good. And Valdemaro bats it over to Laya Palau. Palau over to Sancho Little. She feeds Cindy Lima, who's been working hard, and great defense from Pekova. And I think the Czechs are just that a little bit bigger than maybe Spain feel that they are, because they're trying to attack the basket. Those tall hands are really bothering them. Look. Palau out of the game. Cindy Lima comes out. And Torrens back in, along with Elisa Aguilar. So I suspected he would turn to his veterans.
Well, he needs some veteran play because apart from the missed shot by Sancho Little, was a bit of a floater that she should have made, but it was a good shot. Zage's two-pointer was the only good shot they've taken.
El Hotova.
Well, there's Czechs fans crying out for those to start to drop. She's got to take him, though.
Yep, Torrens. Back out to Aguilar, to Jargai, into the corner to Valdemoro. Good! And the usual shouts of Vamos. And Blazak feeling, I don't know, that the Czechs aren't capitalizing on their opportunities. He's going to call a timeout.
First time in the whole of this quarter where all 5 Spanish players touched the ball in the half court. Everyone got a touch. Valdemoro gets an open shot. They've just got to trust each other to just do that and get the open shot. Because if they start forcing it, then they'll all stop playing. And the game we saw the other night, against Turkey, the biggest thing is they trusted each other and moved the ball.
Tam, Alba se tam schovává, ten hráč stejně ničemu nepomůže a je to jenom takový nastíňování obrany. Zůstaň tam a zůstaňte u nich.
Grande, ciérrala, ciérrala. No mires nada más. ¿De acuerdo? ¿Vale? Elisa, que si sistemas, cabeza, cuernos abajo, no hay problema. ¿De acuerdo? ¡Vamos!
Jeff, the little stat we saw before we listened to Mondello's timeout, from the 4 and 5 spots, if you'd have said to me from the 4 and 5, the Czech Republic were going to have way over half their points. They got like 25 out of their 41 points. Petkova's help with the extension on the, shooting the ball from the 4 spot against Sancho Little, against this impressive inside game. The Czechs, Kuliachova, Brugova, they've all contributed, and they're really taking it and getting good shots inside. That wasn't what I saw in this game at all. I just thought the Spanish would be too quick, too athletic, and they'd have to get some perimeter game going. It's been a great, great effort to get back in the game.
Not seeing quite as much emotion from that Spanish bench as we have as you look at the assist-to-turnover ratio for both teams. Bergrova hands it off to Pekova, who's kind of become the go-to player. And that time, Valdemoro and Sancho Little hemmed her in there. Aguilar for 3. And now El Hotova in the open floor. Haven't seen Aguilar miss too many in this tournament. The Czechs no good. That was Justova. So both teams missing some shots. Now Sancho Little over to Jargai. Back out. Aguilar, they swing the ball to Valdemoro for 3, and the veteran, Spain's all-time winningest, all-time greatest player, hits another 3 and looks up at her dad in the stands, watching his daughter playing a Eurobasket women for the last time. Aguilar reaches in for the steal and then holds it up. And who would have predicted that Amaya Valdemoro would come out and hit these 2 big 3s?
She wouldn't.
She could not wait to get into the game. Sancho Little, boy, her shot has just completely escaped her in this game.
Second half, it's gone completely. But I've got to say again, more people touch the ball inside, outside, open look. So much better. They're so good if they just share it.
Bordalova, oh, gritty move from Bordalova, driving in to the land of the trees. Here it is again, and Spain's lead is just 5 points. A nice play from Aguilar to get it to Little. I think that was before the shot.
Yeah, it should be. When she caught it, they blew the wrist. They give it
2 shots.
She hadn't moved when they blew the whistle. Let's have a look. Oh, no, they're going to show the replay of the 3. The second in a row 3.
It's amazing she looks up at her family when she makes that shot. She's represented Spain more than any other player in history. Something that she accomplished when she entered the game a couple of games ago. Sancho Little just really struggling offensively. She looks almost a little tired. Wouldn't be surprised to see Mondello bring her out. I suppose defensively, she's still bringing something. Now they'd love to have Yana Vesela out there. She's having to watch.
Well, and these are the type of situations that were made for her. You know, Spain showed its own. Well, the Czechs have definitely got them into a different type of game.
Well, Hotova had the open jumper, the open three. She missed it. Spain not looking like the force that they have, that they've looked like throughout the tournament. Jargai drives in, hands it off to Sancho Little, and I don't know that, well, it looked like Baltimore may have come from out of bounds to get that ball.
No, I think she was out, she got back in, and then it almost fell there, so.
Aguilar for three, she misses badly. It's one of these games where Spain must feel like they're running in place, but they're getting the points and the inspiration from Amaya Baltimoro, who in the limited minutes has been terrific. 7 points. Thought she had a couple of threes. She must just have 1 3 and the other one was a 2. Hendrikova, hands were up by Laia Palau over to Aguilar. Baltimore feels it. No good. Gulichova. And Bartonova now on the open floor. Hendrikova back to El Hotova. Good! Finally.
Well, we said if she gets into double figures, they have a chance. So she's got a whole quarter to build on that. Only a 5-point game, and she had space, didn't think about it, knocked it down, and they're in it. They're definitely in this, the Czech Republic. They've changed the way the game's is being played, so they now have given themselves a chance.
So Baltimore, for the first time, kind of forcing them out of trying to draw contact and wanting a foul called on Bergova, but you know, Baltimore is not going to get that call at all. Maybe some leagues you'll get that, but not this league. And the Czechs, even though Spain have kind of gone back in front, the Czechs can now bring it back to 3 or maybe 2 with a three-pointer. Here in the final, they hope the final possession, but over and back is the call, and not what you like to see out of your point guard.
Well, Helatova didn't want to handle it, and she was right. She wanted to give it up, but Bartonova had gone. And this is her coming back. And
she's just got to do better than that.
Yep.
So Spain will have the last possession here. Long way to go in this one. 6 seconds now. 5, 4. Aguilar, she's gonna have to rush it. Over to Sancho Little for 3. Good! Can you believe it? Well, that's a frustration right there for the Czechs, because of all the players you'd like to shoot the way she struggled tonight, it would be Sancho Little, and it's just the way it turned out. She's able to get it up and make a three-pointer. You don't see that very often.
Well, as you said, pick anyone to shoot the last shot, give it, she struggled, and it's outside the three-point line. Yeah, that makes it really, the Czechs have been down, they've come back, now they're down again, they've got to do it all again. And it's going to be hard for them, but these statistics that we're going to see right now will tell you the story that there's not a lot of difference between these two teams in terms of statistically. It's only the performance from beyond the three-point line that really gives the edge. The biggest number that the Czechs has been really struggling with. They've turned the ball over 16 times against a team that wants to run and shoot. And now if they could have just taken control, we saw the play just at the end of the quarter with Bartonova, summed up the problem they have. They've got to be assertive and take control of the ball.
Well, Spain had 10 points off turnovers in the first half. And really the storyline in the third quarter, the struggles in Spain looking so uncertain of themselves. And really it took the insertion of Baltimoro and Aguilar into that lineup to kind of calm things down. So if they were to survive, you know, they could probably learn a lot from this game, but they're only up by 8. The points off turnovers right now, 13 for Spain and 2 for the Czechs. And Spain getting 10 second chance points as well to just 5 for the Czechs. But the Czech bench has outscored Spain's bench 20-7. There's the scoring by quarter.
Mandela hasn't gone to the bench anywhere near as often as he has so far in this tournament, because there's a lot of players on that bench who played a lot, who haven't really got off the bench at all in this game.
No, we haven't seen much of Dominguez in this game, which is a little surprising. Torrens drives into the lane and draws the foul. Replay of Torrens driving. It's going to be interesting to see how Valdemaro stays involved with Spain's federation after this Eurobasket women. Will she join the coaching staff? Will she be behind the scenes? And you have to say the same about Aguilar, because they kind of have that role right now. But look at the numbers of Torrens. Wow, 24 points. So her first 2 points of the second half come in the fourth quarter. It's now or never time for the Czechs. They've got to get it going. Torrens reaches in, knocks it out of bounds. Bartanova penetrates and drives and scores. Great play from Bartanova.
And that's why she's always a bit of a question mark for me in terms of she can do that, she can handle it, and then she just doesn't have the confidence to sort of lead the floor. I'm sure she'll get there because she's got the ability. Poor defense, though.
Elia Palau does everything that she needs to do and then misses the layup. Oh, gosh. I'll never forget the long three-pointer at the buzzer from Elia Palau at the 2004 Olympics against the Czech Republic to force overtime, and then Spain beat them in that opening night game. And then you see her miss a layup like that, and it just doesn't add up. The defense is there. Elia Palau and Bartanova somehow was able to.
It's the same problem though. Bartanova has to go and get the ball, not get it into stuff until they're ready to run. They threw it to the corner and didn't know where to go then. She's got to lead the floor.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Bartanova. And a foul on Elia Palau. Three fouls on Elia Palau.
Czechs need to score, I think. You know, they're going to go to the back door, but not productively.
Working a little bit harder than they want to on offense. Pekova for 3. Well, Little with a good job boxing out. Number 12 has come in, Teresa Viorlo. And all the way, Alba Torrens. And she'll go to the line with a chance for a three-point play.
It's almost becoming the effort that the Czech Republic had to put in to get back in the game is starting to take its toll now. That's the first time Torrens has had a chance to run like she did in the first quarter and get to the hoop with no big player help.
Torrens makes the free throw, so the three-point play takes her to 27 points and puts Spain in front by 11. Well, she's just come in, Teresa Viorlova, and drills a three-pointer. No hesitation.
She's another player that's again rising to the situation. Came good read off the screen. Just need 1 or 2 stops to make this really interesting again.
Sancho Little having struggled so much in the third quarter. She hit that three-pointer right at the end. And her fortunes have changed, and believe it or not, she's got 20 points. 9 of 21 from the floor. Pekova over to Vyorlova. And this time she shoots it over the rim. Sancho Little. Up ahead to Pekova. Back to Vyorlova. Portalova over to Pekova on the baseline. And the shot's not falling now for the Czechs.
You're right about what you said earlier on. Sancho Little beginning to look tired, and given the state of the game, if Mamela wants to give her a blow, he's got to get her out now so he can bring her back if that's what he wants to do. But he doesn't seem that intent at all. He's going to let her play.
Montezor guy spins, gets in. And I guess that rebound right there is why he wants her in the game. A good rebounder makes up for a lot of mistakes.
God, absolutely.
Sets the pick, then rolls to the basket, and it looked like she was going to dunk it there for a second. But she is really dragging out there. She goes to the line. And Mandela, I guess, is going to leave her in. Pekova with the foul.
In terms of their numbers, in terms of minutes played, Lauren Nichols and Gill have played into the teens, 18, 19 minutes. And they've both have been in just one short period.
Yeah, and I'm not sure this is a good message for the coach to be sending to the players.
No,
he's shown a lot of faith in them throughout the tournament. And now that you're in money time, it's like all of a sudden they're not good enough to play. I mean, I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but Jorgai, no good. And Baltimore crashed the boards. Portalova drives in, fouled by Laia Palau. And I just...
Well, even the rotation around the guard spot, they've been in and out, they've shared minutes. And Laia Palau's really seeing a lot of time at the moment. She's way into the 20s, and that's without anyone else being out there for very long.
Well, they fall asleep, and they get away with it because Vyorlova misses the layup. Full marks to Blazek. I mean, he's really been dealing with an injury crisis and player retirements, and this Czech team, I can see they're well organized. But Laia Palau drives in and makes the layup, and the lead goes up to 13. Somebody needs to get their hands on the ball that can make a jump shot or a layup for the Czechs. Bergrova. And Hanasova is fouled by Maya Valdemoro.
And there you see Hanasova comes into the game, gets the opportunity to post up. She's a big target. She's a mismatch she's trying to exploit. And then you won't see her for 3 or 4 possessions.
5:31 remaining, timeout on the floor. Spain in the semifinal, leading the Czech Republic, 64-51. What can the Czechs do right now that they haven't done already?
Well, that's the thing. He's shown them the zone. That slowed him up a little bit. I think at the end of the day, he's found a way to make Spain take bad shots. If he stays with that, he's just got to make sure it's 1 and out for them. And at the hope, he can get the other good looks. I think Kuliachova needs to get back in the game as soon as possible. If he can be around 10 with 4 to go, and if he wants to play the zone to see if he can get something out of it, he has a chance. He can't extend it. The trouble is he can't extend because they just get broken down far too easily by whoever on the perimeter. He can get away with his zone though because they're just still not moving the ball all the time.
Look at that. I mean, that's a player that you have to have on the floor, you would think.
And how good is it for her? You know, she's been a member of the team for a while, but now she's risen to become a leader on this team. struggling to get it in.
Hanasova puts it on the ground over to Bergrova. She has to alter her shot, and she is fouled shooting the jumper by Sancho Little. To be fair to Bergrova, she almost made the shot.
Good call, though. She got hit as she released. She needs to make both. They need the scoreboard to tick over, stop and a score, and they can eat into this 13-point lead. I've been saying for a lot of games why they can't just run a few screens for Helatova just to see if they can release her, because every team's chasing her.
Guarding Albatorin. Pulls up at the line. Good! You just get the feeling that Spain are going to dodge a major bullet. And the Czechs were right there, nipping. They were like, I think they got it within 2, or did they tie it? I think they tied it.
Oh, they tied it, yep.
Elhotova drives in. Sancho Little with the rebound. Up ahead now to Valdemoro, and Spain are in no rush. Valdemoro, beautiful pass to Marta Jargai, and the execution is there for Spain, and Valdemoro has really come in and just really seen this team to victory. I think that's the best way you could put it. She really calmed them down at the right time. Now she reaches in, almost gets the steal. Sancho Little, Hindrakova, and Aguilar with the rebound. And again, Spain now just content to walk it up the floor.
Well, you're so right about the Valdemoro stuff. More people touching the ball. They're trying to create for each other. Therefore, the defense has to spread a little more, which then gives Torrens a chance to penetrate.
Albatorin's no good. And the long rebound and the clock, definitely the enemy of the Czech Republic. If they're going to have any type of comeback, it's got to happen now. Little. Well, they're falling now. It's hard to believe they're even being challenged at this point. The Czechs have just gone stone cold.
I think it really was that effort to get back in. They just don't have enough guns, enough options. And this looks very reminiscent now of the first quarter, where they're struggling to get things in the half court. And then down the other end, people are starting to hit shots on them. And it doesn't do them justice, because they now trail 18. And for a while there, when it got to, 45 apiece, they had a real shot. It looked like they had a real shot. And right at the beginning, we said that balance between the veterans and the handing over and all, and that type of thing, well, Valdemoro has shown you what that can offer, and that's been tremendous by her.
Valdemoro catches it, puts it up, and goes to the free throw line where she can get into double digits. And now he puts in Laura Gill for Sancho Little. And I again, as you look at the replay, I just don't know, you know, it's Lucas Mondela's prerogative to do this, but you play Gill so many important minutes throughout the tournament and really hasn't played her in crunch time tonight.
You're right there about how that affects players. Only he knows his team. From the outside, it looks different, and it was really working for Spain throughout the tournament. So, and if I'm thinking ahead, and some of the options that could happen for them, when they play France, they will play a possession of big players. And I just can't see anybody, however talented, big, whatever you are, if Sancho Little has to go up against Ndonge, Ruda, and Yakubu for too many minutes, I just don't see that being an effect. There's no way that I think she can contain that effort for that long.
Well, remember the last time France and Spain met in a major game was at the World Championship, I think in 2010.
Yep.
And Spain had to rely on Valdemoro to get it done. because I think Sancho Little was injured. Maybe she got injured in that game.
She got injured in the game, I think, yeah.
With Valdemoro still in the game, hands it off to Laura Gill. And Portalova, good hands. Well, the primary aim, so they said, was to get to the FIBA World Championship for women. And if they can go on and close this game out, that'll be one box ticked for Spain. And the question is now, how far can this Spain team go? Especially having seen them struggle just a little bit tonight, as well as Serbia's performance. And the shot clock expires before they get the shot off. You know, will Serbia have learned anything from this tonight?
Well, if they did nothing else, you know, if they want to play the same way, if they can stay in the game by stopping people going to the inside, and you saw how they can play defense, then Spain are going to find some other options, and they're going to have to get in some half-court execution. The one thing that Serbia will show them is a team that really believes in itself. And one of the things that happened when the Czech Republic team came back is that Spain started to look around a little bit and they were challenged.
Well, it was a 5-game winning streak for Serbia, and I'm sure that they've gotten the attention of Spain, or certainly they will after this game when they watch the videotape of how they really plugged away against Italy. For the Czech Republic, because you know, their main aim as well was to get to the FIBA World Championship, and that was expressed. That was a reminder that was spoken by Blazek after the loss of Vesela in that first loss to Belarus. We need to forget about it, and we need to accomplish our main aim of getting to the FIBA World Championship for women. So they'll have to win a couple of classification games if they're going to do that. Laura Gill reaches in, forces the turnover. And what really looked like a dangerous game for Spain in the third quarter has suddenly turned into a blowout here at the end. Valdemoro. And Jargai, no good. Pekova with the rebound. And can the Czechs grow in confidence from a game like this? Or are they now going to be kind of questioning their chances?
Well, I think they should definitely grow. They should definitely be positive coming out of the game, apart from the obvious, like, the disappointing amount of defeat as Helatova gets herself into, what, 13 points.
I think she's kind of snapped out of her funk a little bit.
Because they will play Italy in the next game, correct? I think.
That's right,
and
yeah.
so, you know, they can't be standing off the Italians if they shoot the ball the way they did today. So it's they have a chance. You know, beating them, beating the Italians could mean they'll be in the World Championships themselves. So all to play for them.
Well, Aguilar hasn't shot it as well tonight for Spain. That's not a great concern, but Laura Gill with the offensive rebound. Earns a trip to the line, but I just wonder if Blazek and the Czechs, when they go to the locker room tonight and talk about it, are they going to dwell on it or think about an opportunity that maybe was there for the taking and they didn't take it?
I think if they walk into the locker room and talk about, well, you know, if we'd have started better, if we'd have been a bit more focused at the beginning, we definitely proved we can play with one of the best teams in the tournament. And I'm sure he's going to come out of this game extolling the positives. So people are going out there, and Pekova's done well, and Helatova started to shoot the ball better. His bigs have done very well.
And how are Spain's players going to react to this as well? I mean, that's another. They've had their kind of
hopefully quarterfinal
wake-up call. The pressure off a little bit for the team that didn't make it to the Olympics. They know they'll be back at the FIBA World Championship, but the opportunity is there.
I don't understand. What I don't understand, and it makes it difficult to comment, is he's played a certain way with a certain rotation of a lot of players up until now. It's the reason they haven't gone to that will make the locker room discussion interesting. It may just be he had to. We don't know. Dominguez may be hurt. I don't know. It could be any of those reasons.
We'll find out. That's the final seconds. Kick off the clock. Valdemoro. She ends up with 11 points. Spain celebrate. They have qualified for the FIBA World Championship for women by winning this quarterfinal And you wouldn't know that they had a struggle tonight the way they're celebrating right at midcourt.
Applaudissements du public pour l'Espagne.
Well, in the end, it was a really, they asserted in the fourth quarter.
Applaudissements sportifs pour
And I think the Baldemoro interjection into the game really did deal with any issues. They moved the ball, they got some open looks. Interesting rotation, only the press conference might be able to try and explore it. I'm sure it won't get a real answer, but what matters most is that they're in the semi-final. They are a genuine gold medal contender, but they probably played a team with the most confidence in the tournament at the moment, who just probably don't believe anyone can beat them. And that'll be a real test. Maybe people look at this as, oh, Spain beat Turkey, easiest pathway to the final, not having watched Serbia earlier on.
Well, for the Czechs, back to the drawing board. They've got to regroup, and they've got to regroup quickly. With the game coming up against Italy. Spain, boy, the pain. They talk about how they really had to value every win. I just almost wonder as well if maybe they were just a tad fatigued coming in tonight. It just didn't seem like the Spain that we had seen earlier in the tournament.
And also maybe it's, yep, you guys messed up. We didn't get to the Olympic Games. This is your chance to get to the World Championship. So he went with that lineup. He went with Palau. He went with like staying with that lineup more. Maybe, and he got away with it, if that's the right phrase, on the back of those statistics. And they had a pretty solid game, apart from a period where they just dried up. And it was because the Czechs played well, they got back into it. But it may be a little bit of a redemption type game for those players that didn't do what they were trying to do in terms of the last Europeans.
Well, look at the stats. The Czech Republic and Spain up and down, and, you know, 75-58, the only one that matters. And what is crucial for the Czechs is they're going to have to rebound and rebound quickly. Their game tomorrow is going to be at 2 o'clock. They're going to play Italy. We'll be here for that, broadcasting. And the winner of that then will go on to play for the battle for 5th place. And of course, unless Italy were to lose to Belarus somehow and end up getting into that 5th place game as well, then the top 6 teams would go to the FIBA World Championship for women. Torrens ended up with 29 points, 22 in the first half. For my money, incredibly, Sancho Little with the 23 points, but for my money, the most important points scored tonight for Spain were from Amaya Valdemoro. She ended up with 11 and was really key in the third quarter when Spain stemmed the flow and kind of just about held the Czech Republic at bay.
Well, they're celebrating because I think they have drawn a line under, we want to get to the World Championships. They've done that. They're going to go back, they've got a day, and they'll get ready to play. And Sharapova lost today. Yep, straight sets as well. Crazy. It's nearly over. The day is nearly over. Should we celebrate?
I have celebrated like the joy of watching the game.
Never worried when they came back and tied the game. You just never worried.
No, it wasn't. And that's what bugs me. I mean, you start winning, make the difference, then you're even, and it's like, so ball doesn't want to come in, and there's no way you're going to get the advantage, and then in the end, you're hit by 7 goals. Yeah?
Those people falling over on the grass.
Anita, this is bad.
How are you, Richard?
Better now that the lights changed. No, it's just really bad for TV. Well, actually, it's only bad when a team plays in white.
You can't see them.
No, because they're forever adjusting the contrast with the players moving across the court because there's no constant light. So one moment they're so white you have to turn it down, and another moment they're grey because you can't do anything with it.
What's this about?
Because the fucking lights are on the side instead of hanging from the ceiling like every normal gym in the modern world.
Oh well.
The architect apparently is coming tomorrow as a VIP. I said I'd like to invite them down on the court.
How old is he?
Brand new. I said to the manager was here, the guy that runs it, I said, we basically have a facility here which is good for flower shows,